Hello, everybody, and welcome back over to the Rumble in the Realm. But this time you are joining us over here in the North American region to finish up our 1 versus 1 final. And today, once again, here with me is my good old pal, Hank. How you doing, friend?
I'm doing good.
All right. Nice to hear. Nice to hear. So for those of you that don't know what this is, just this last weekend, we had a Legion tournament to have a qualifier stage for the contestants that we have lined up here for you today. We have participants Keaney, Virus, Sunni, and Zack, who all proved their worthwhile in this last weekend, to come here today and compete for some fantastic prizes. We can go on over what these guys are all competing for. You do see the bracket up there as well for yourselves. But if you could, Hank, we would like to hear about what all of these guys are playing for.
So we got 4 fantastic prizes. In 4th place, you get 50 USD in Hong Moon coin and a choice of 1 of 3 lovely outfits. 3rd place, you get $100 USD. Those 3 outfits again, and a Corsair Void Pro RGB USB Premium Gaming Headset. 2nd place, $200 USD, along with the 3 outfit choices, and you get a Corsair Scimitar Pro RGB mouse, all the buttons that you can ever want in a mouse. 1st place, you have $300 in USD, the choice of 3 outfits, and a beautiful Corsair K70 keyboard, pretty beautiful, lights your whole room with just 1 keyboard. Along with that, you can see the 3 outfits right there. From the left to the right, you see the school days on female, teacher pet on female, and colorful silks on females, because of course female outfits are all that matter.
Oh boy, I don't know. I kind of want to see a teacher's pet on males, you know. Gender bend outfit is pretty nice when you see that skirt.
I'm sure there's a market for that.
Oh gosh. All right, so with that, though, we are going to hopefully be starting up with our first match, which will be Keaney versus Virus. So for class differentials here in NA, we did end up having Keaney and Sunni as the 2 Warlocks, and then Virus as the Sin, and then Zack coming in on the Summoner. So what do you really think is going to be the dominant factor, I guess, going into this next match between Keaney and Virus?
The big thing is if Keaney can deal with Virus's stealth. Being a Sin, you have a lot of stealth options, and especially since the Thrall will also be in play. If Keaney does not control his Thrall, you can easily proc a Q, proc an E, proc a decoy. Not to mention just recklessness. Virus will most likely perhaps be using his CI frame, which does give a good amount of healing if Keaney just randomly hits into it. So I think it's a careful side on Keaney's part. At the same time, Virus can't just be too reckless. He can easily get chunked down large amounts of HP if he just get hit by even 1 CC.
Yeah, that's always the really big thing. You know, Virus is going to have to be playing a bit more safe. So you did mention that CI frame. I kind of do like that choice to just try to avoid as much damage as possible and buy yourself as much time as possible. Because, well, we all know Warlocks tend to like to play with time with this little skill called Time Distortion. Just resets all of their cooldowns. You really have to be kind of worried about, you know, what they're going to be doing in the large burst. We have things like untappable combos with Leech, you know, Thrall stun as well. There's a lot of really big things that you have to kind of keep in mind and, you know, make sure you're playing to the best of your ability if you really want to come out on top. But then down in the other bracket too, we do have another Warlock, which is Sunni, up against Zack as well. And I know typically Zack doesn't really like playing against Warlocks all too often, you know, being the squishy class that Summoner is. It can tend to get chunked pretty quickly, right? You know, Helixes can just go through Petal Storm. It doesn't always save you, so you can kind of have some issues going in with that as well. But I guess for today, again, I'm going to ask you, Hank, you did guess for Kelly QQ over in EU. Predictions weren't quite accurate, but it got you to 2nd place. Who do you think is going to probably win it today?
This one's all over the place in my opinion. We have a bit of a rock paper scissors sometimes kind of thing. You know, Zack beat Virus once, Virus can beat Sunni, or you can go Keaney can beat Sunni. And I honestly can't take my pick for this one. I'd like to see what happened at the end.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a hard one to try to figure out, but I think a lot of it will probably be determined by who wins in these first rounds. Let's say if Virus can't get the win over Keaney, and then Zack does get the win over Sunni as well. We did see yesterday Zack also did manage to pull out a win up against Virus, so he could potentially try to swoop in that first place spot, and then maybe one of the Warlocks have to knock each other out, and then you just know how it is. Yeah. So it really kind of depends on how it is going to start out in these couple of first matches. So I guess we can kind of go over a little more of the specifics for what this first matchup is going to be. So we're going to have Warlock versus Assassin. So now both of these classes obviously have 2 tab escape sort of forms. One of them being with the Assassin, they have the normal tab escape, which is the rollback, and then they also have the Flower. Of course, Flower doesn't allow you to get out of KD state or aerials, so you always have to try to predict when your opponent is going to go for those aerials and pop those cooldowns before it initially goes off. Whereas on the other side, we do have Warlocks. They have their normal tab escape, which is the rollback, gives the branding along with untargetability, and the Thrall swap, which allows them to get a stuns as well. Pretty convenient, but the advantage, of course, is time distortion, where the Warlock manages to reset their escape cooldowns and offensive cooldowns. So the Sin sometimes kind of wants to play a little slow, and I guess for this slow play style, what kind of spells do you think Virus is going to want to be using?
I think the big thing is whether Virus decides to use Bombard or Heart Stab, really, because again, Bombard, due to the recent change, it does do a lot of damage. But if he wants to play safe, Heart Stab is very reliable, especially for Virus. The way he's been using Heart Stab for much longer, and occasionally during matchups, if he feels uncomfortable, he'll just stick to it, and it's very convenient. Good abilities in stealth. Since it's even if it's a Warlock, he might not even use Close Shave. He could use the Lightning spec, giving him more damage while in stealth.
Yeah.
The only other thing I can think of for like something tricky would be the Mine, if he's really needs the Ice Mine, but I doubt it. I don't think he would use Ice Mine in this case.
Could. It really depends on how he does want to play, but yeah, I like the mention of him using Heart Stab as well, just because having that extra boost in stealth damage could also be really helpful. You know, we did see that a little bit in Rumble yesterday, actually. While he's in stealth, he just goes ahead and does the PvE if the Warlock does decide to try to sit around. But here we go, guys. We are off to our first match of the day. Keaney versus Virus, Sin versus Warlock. Let's see who's going to be able to take it all out in the end here. So right now we see the Cheese Smoke coming on down from Virus, and it is going to be the choice of Daze Mine plus Bombard. Constantly knocking down Keaney inside of the Sanctum, trying to make sure he does not feel safe with that cooldown now, placing down the Lotus of Escape. Virus backing off and dashing in with the Infiltrate to get that evasion buff. He does manage to proc out that party decoy, but getting knocked out of stealth into the C iframe to avoid in prison. Now Aerial Chain is used up by Keaney. Web down to the floor, uses Thrall swap on into that Time Warp as well, but Virus is going to just easily back out with that Lotus of Escape. Really wants to avoid a leech if at all possible here, but gets knocked up into the air inside of his Cheese Smoke, losing tons of his HP, already down to 21%. But Virus managing to hold on to that tab escape and getting the decoy proc here. Bastion we have seen is procced as well, and he hits into the decoy of Keaney, getting pushed back by the Repulse, trying to charge back in. Gets the LMB stun into the Bombard damage. Let's see how much he's going to be able to return here. Lightning Rod into Poison Breath. As pop party decoy procced here by the Thrall. Daze Mine is not going to be able to get the connection that it needs in 10 seconds in the Sanctum here is what it is for Keaney, but the Thrall coming back in and sweeping Virus up into the air for Keaney to take that first round win.
Gotta say, I thought for a moment Vice really had it, but as you mentioned before, the Cheese Smoke does protect from projectiles, but just does not get through the Dragon Helixes, and they can still do an abundant amount of damage.
Yeah, that's definitely the really big thing. Another thing you really have to keep in mind with the Cheese Smoke. So not a lot of people know this, but if you are a melee and you have a projectile defense skill like Cheese Smoke or Warding Spirit on the Blade Master, it actually doesn't reset in an aerial. But if you're a range class like Summoner with Petal Storm or Force Master with Divine Veil, if you are in an aerial combo, your projectile defense actually does reset while you're in the air. Just a significant difference, because that means you're taking RMB damage as a melee when you are knocked into the air during at least the second half of the Warlock aerial, unlike the other range classes. So you are a bit more prone to even when you are in your projectile defense. So it's something to be a little more careful of. But right here, we are starting up our second round. Go ahead and take it away, Hank.
All right, we got Virus and Keaney starting all up. Already using decoy SS, lightning strikes out of it, does not want to get caught. Already hit by the tether, uses his flower into the smoke, tries to get a catch on, but gets pushed back repost, synced and put down, knocked down, and poison breath, getting that free damage on Keaney. Thrall finally comes out. Ooh, and then he goes for the tab switch. Pulse there. Thrall actually gets the onrush on him. Virus rolls out of there safely, gets the reself off the Thrall. Wingstorm just trying to tick him out of the little stealth right there. Shuriken's on him. See iframe, shadow stealth. Keaney is looking. He's still got his void walk. He's got his bastion up. Virus himself does not have any escapes. He's got to play a little bit more careful here. And the time distortion just before the Thrall expires. Just letting the Wingstorm proc. Virus trying to get a little closer. Is he going to just go into one dash? Nope, tries the tab switch and succeed. Get the stun off. He's opting for the hard stab this time. He wants to play it much safer than the last game.
And we see here Keaney just sort of trying to buy themselves some time to get their Thrall back up, but Virus trying to go back in on the aggressive a little bit here to try to avoid that situation if at all possible. But knocked up in the air after that in prison. Not going to actually be taking a whole lot of damage here, thankfully, but now going back in with the LMB stun to the Bolt Strike as well. And deals much damage while he is in stealth. Getting that party decoy proc is absolutely huge. He can just go back in here for more free hard stab damage. And Keaney unable to really answer to this stealth. Now Virus jumping right back in with his tab escape. Lightning Rod not going to be able to connect, but the guard is broken here for Virus, but Keaney down so low trying to survive. Bastion barely keeping him alive, and Thrall is going bye-bye, and Virus trying to land it with the hook kick, but managed is to connect out there with that Shadow Slash to get the win.
I said it before, Virus, if he really needs to, can just opt in for that hard stab, and he did. Gets that free stealth damage, a lot more confident in his combos. No chi management problems at all.
Oh, yeah. It was really big there. You know, I think the switch and build was kind of nice. We saw how much damage he can get out while that Thrall even is available. And that start at the beginning, too, was really nicely done. He was on the opposite side of the arena when time distortion had to go off, and he managed to play it safe enough. All right, so who's going to claim the third win? Or the second win, I should say, for the third round? Who's going to do it, Hank? Who are you putting your money on?
Who am I putting I'll throw my 3 copper towards... let's give it a Virus. So I think he played really well that time. Like, he just didn't get opportunities, and if he did, by the time if you cycle through the stealths, Virus had his escapes up, and that's really a way he had to play it. If you can't avoid the Warlock CCs, at least have your escape ready for it.
Yeah, most definitely. So he's more prepared than usual. See if he's going to be able to claim it out this time, but the first win is always wanted, as it at least guarantees that you get third place in this tournament. All right, guys, here we go. Final round for this best of 3. Virus immediately hit by the Tether Blade, having to back up with his tab escape here. Knocked out of stealth by the Repulse. Gets hit by the Leech, goes up by the Q. Untappable combo to unleash tons of damage back in onto Virus, and he immediately gets aerialed off the Imprison. And Keaney ends the match 15 seconds in. So fast, relentless, didn't even get his flower up, unfortunately, and Virus already taking the loss here, unfortunately. So he is knocked down toward the loser's bracket.
All right, how much copper do I owe you?
You bet 3 copper, man. So.
Oh, boy. Get my receipt. That was very unfortunate right there.
Rubbing the bank.
Keaney definitely got the opener very well. Made sure he caught on after the tab escape with his, I believe it was the Repulse.
Yeah.
And then, oh my god, the time distortion just let him get the untabbable stuff through.
Yeah, it was definitely a really unexpected surprise to see Virus get knocked out so easily right there by Keaney. So he's going to have to play down there in that loser's bracket and claw his way all the way back up if he wants a shot at that first place prize. But then that means our next lined up match should be Sunni versus Zack. So we're going to be seeing some Warlock versus Summoner. So there's a lot of talk that kind of goes in and out about this matchup, whether it's in Summoner favor or if it's in Warlock favor. I know that Summoner being a really squishy class, Leech is going to be really, really big to have to kind of deal with here, just because they get the damage increase and their Helix does so much damage through Petal Storm regardless. And the Summoner kind of has to be careful, you know, the double tab escape as well from Warlock and kind of keep them safe from things like the Cat Pounce. So it is kind of hard to sometimes get that aggression, especially when something like Sanctum is brought into the mix.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, again, you're dealing with two classes with very low HP pools, but one has very large burst and the other has very large heal. You're gonna see which one earned on the end. A lot of times, I mean, this might be more of a personal opinion of mine, but when I see the Summoner versus Warlock matchup, I think one of the big determinants is if the Summoner just happens to hit a deflect, it's almost guaranteed game over. It's a very common mistake at times because you think you can just Sunflower it through and maybe you'll guard break with the right click, but just sometimes you just hit into the deflect and it's very punishable.
And of course, sometimes that cat just really doesn't want to listen to your instructions and just keeps hitting the block over and over, just stunning himself all the time. So you always got to be really careful when it comes to stuff like that. So hopefully it's going to be a little bit better for Zack in this next match. Looks like the contestants are going to be starting to load into the arena in just a little bit here. And for those of you that are just tuning in just now as well, this is for the next part at the beginning. We are still up in winner's side, so we've only missed one match so far. So make sure to stick around if you want to see all of the possible action. So the winner here will proceed forward and plays for minimum of at least third and hopefully first or second with that victory. And right there, down there, we have Virus and losers at currently last place, but his next opponent hasn't come down to play yet, so he could honestly swing this all on its head. You know, Virus is a pretty big name and has made multiple comebacks in a lot of these tournaments, so we'll see if he can do it this time. All right.
Yeah, we've seen this matchup quite often. Sunni versus Zack, very specific. They had this match during regionals and actually the other day too during qualifiers.
Oh yeah.
See what Zack can do about this time.
Yep. Looks like they are finally all loaded up and in, and Sunni not gonna quite go so aggressive. The Penta Slash does go in, but it's gonna get blocked up by the SSI frame. Zack rooted to the floor here and actually knocked up in the air by the Thrall. Then Petal Storm trying to avoid as much damage as possible, and the cat gets the return aerial actually during the time distortion. Sunni unable to abuse those resets that were going off in there. True Friend is up, but the repulse is going to break right on through that iframe bubble. Thrall trying to go back in for another stun, but the Dandelion proc will save Zack as he's sitting in stealth here. Going to be SSing back, buying us some time and healing up a little bit of HP here with the Petal Storm as well. Sunni having to play back, and Thrall actually disappearing, and Sunni with no real cooldowns. He is going to get that aerial up the Penta Slash as well, and Hammer, no connection, but the Sproutling will knock him to the floor, and Thorn Strike unfortunately will be missing here for Zack, but he does manage to get the power pounce, and Sunni with no tab escape is going to get eaten alive by Mr. Whiskers here.
Someone give that cat some catnip. That double aerial really just stalled out that time distortion, gave him the time he needed. When the Thrall came down, Sunni was just backed in the corner, almost literally.
Oh yeah, Zack definitely feeling really good about that one, that's for sure. Getting the one-round victory over his opponent, and the big thing is here is that those aerials mattered a ton, right? The aerial during time distortion, that means you're not having to dodge in prisons, you're not constantly dealing with Bastion, you just have to deal with technically just one reset, right? Because you've burned out the whole time, the first reset always procs off anyways, and then being able to just follow up and force out the tab escape while Thrall is gone was just absolutely huge. So for Sunni, what do you think he should do to really shake up this match?
I mean, that's a hard one to say. It might just be, might have been RNG just from the cat launch, or it might have just been the unfortunate Thrall timing. There was just a lot of unfortunate events. He definitely does have to play more careful to avoid that kind of situation.
Of course.
Interesting thing though, what Sanctum do you think he's actually using?
It can kind of vary. I know sometimes that people do use the untargetable Sanctum, but sometimes they do use the anti-CC Sanctum, and both of them can kind of work out in either favor. It really depends on how your opponents may be playing. If, say, they're using the Cat Mine You may not want to use Untargetable Sanctum because that could still hit you, things of that sort. But we'll see what they're trying to play this time around here. Go ahead, Hank.
And he goes for the SS, gets the damage. Thrall's already up. 5-point already used, launching in there. No double launch this time. He's PVing the Thrall just a little, just put some pressure. Bastion already used, gets the shackles on, doesn't guard break. Zack rolls out, Wing Storm's up. Now they're just in the pedals. Sanctum is down. Tab escape used by Zack. Cat is just hiding in behind him. Gets the knockdown and the pin. Is not going to get any value once again from time distortion. I think there's only 2 resets this time. Gets his leash, gets to chop off a lot of aerial damage on both of them. Oh. And Zack could just not deal with that.
Yeah, we see right there the summoner having to burn their escape so early on is so detrimental to their play. He gets burned out by the leash, gets knocked up into the air along with his cat. Both of those chains actually connecting off pretty big. And then just eating so much that time around. So you really can see how this matchup can kind of just flip on its head either way, just for the simple fact that if you don't have your escape early on, you can kind of get punished by things like the cat pounce or just, of course, the leech or the tether blade into the aerial chains as well. So it really kind of does depend. Zack really wants to make sure that he can survive through the time distortion with his tab escape, if at all possible. You know, getting something like a party dandelion or having true friend up and available for that could be pretty big.
Yeah, I said Yasuni should have been more careful. This right, I think he did the opposite and just went more aggressive. He essentially escaped at the beginning of his time distortion and just ran the hell back for it.
Oh, yeah.
And now we're gonna decide who's gonna go to losers bracket after this.
Yep, this is the fight to stay up here in the winner's side of the bracket. Zack backing off from the Sanctum, putting Petal Storm up into the air as well. Tetherblade is going to be coming down here. Thrall did manage to get the stun, but the cat protects exactly the best of its ability. We see Time Distortion going off here, and Party Dandelion was used in addition to the True Friend. Zack trying to play back, playing really scared though. The cat's going to have to save him. Eventually gets hit by the leech, and the cat waiting off to the side to save its master. Knocked out of stealth here by the repulse, is hit by the Tetherblade and instantly aerialed by the Thrall, but Petal Storm is keeping him safe. Gets the power pounce. The cat scratch did manage to take effect, so Yasuni will get knocked down here in just a brief moment unless he chooses to iframe it here. Rolling back after that cat hammer, knocked to the floor, gets the Penta Slash, knocked up into the air, and Zack cleans out the win here against Yasuni, defeating out the Warlock and sending him straight down to the loser's side of the bracket. All right, that was really nicely done out there by Zack. It was really good. So we saw there, when he did get the power pound, Yasuni decided, yeah, I'm going to eat a little bit of the damage. But then they kind of realized, maybe I shouldn't quite be eating as much. And they tabbed a little late and allowed the cat to get the scratch debuff. And that scratch debuff right there at the end, as we saw, after the F roll from the hammer connecting, Yasuni was forced to roll back. But then they get knocked down by the power pounce debuff, and with that KD, they can't block the upcoming Penta Slash that just came off cooldown.
Yeah, I'm sure Zack is feeling great after that one. Not to mention, during that entire combo, because Yasuni kind of forced himself in a corner, Zack was able to just throw his Nettles down there and just disable the block. So he could essentially just get free CCs and damage off of Yasuni, who was just trying to desperately run away. Unfortunately, SS being his only movement skill.
Yeah. So it was definitely really nicely played. So with Yasuni down in the losers bracket, that means our next game should be Yasuni versus Virus. If we're going to be going like we did in EU, we'll be moving up with the losers bracket first here. And so this is going to be the battle between 3rd and 4th place. Of course, nobody wants to get knocked out down here at 4th place, as the prize is only $50 in Hong Moon coin. Everyone's going to at least want to get some of that yummy US dollar. So right here, we can have all the prizes on the screen. Go ahead and list them off here for us, Hank.
We got, once again, 4th place to whomever is going to lose the next match will be $50 in Hong Moon coin and the choice of one of the 3 outfits. In 3rd place, the $100 prize money along with one of the 3 outfits and the Corsair Void Pro USB headset. In 2nd place, you get $200 in well, not cash, but you'll get $200 along with one of the 3 outfits, the really button-full mouse of the Corsair Scimitar, along with the really extended mouse pad, probably covers a certain person's desk. And first place with $300, you can get your outfit and the beautiful Lux RGB Corsair K70 keyboard. Showing the 3 outfits in there from left to right is the female wearing the school days, the female wearing the teacher's pet, and the female wearing the colorful skirts. Again, emphasizing the female outfits.
You know, interestingly enough, if you see that colorful silks, it actually looks different on each of the races. And after looking at it in-game, I definitely see why they used the Yun preview. I really don't like it on Jin whatsoever.
You can't just devalue an outfit. It is what it wants to be.
It's just a pile of silks in the end, my guy.
Definitely, the winner will want to preview the outfit before picking it. But again, none of these prizes are poor. They are something that you want, and of course, you would want the first place as much as possible.
And of course, if you can see over in the chat right now too, guys, there are active giveaways happening, so make sure to enter in those commands if you want to win some awesome prizes at little to absolutely no cost to you. But looks like we're going to be getting started with our next match in just a moment. So once again, we have Sin, but versus yet another Warlock. So Virus hopefully is not going to be getting chunked out within the first 15 seconds of the match. Here we go. All right, so Yasuni and Virus off to their start. Yasuni is shooting the walk up and block slowly for their initial opener, and we do see Virus re-entering that stealth and keeping the cheese smoke to keep himself safe as well, not backing up from the Sanctum. Choosing to immediately tab escape off of that Tether Blade. Thrall now is out and summoned onto the field here for Yasuni. Playing back, staying against the wall, not wanting to go all too aggressive because he knows if he's caught here, he's going to be in a whole lot of trouble. No branding is down though, so Leech is not yet available for Yasuni. Thrall does manage to connect in with the stun though, and the aerial chain's coming on down. We do see the pushback from the repulse, but the strafe does keep Virus safe. Party decoy not going to get procced though, but he does have that cheese smoke to try to mitigate some of this damage here and going for the aerial webbing. He's buying himself some more times for his tap escape cooldown. Now that being back up does not quite connect the Daze Mine, unfortunately. Bastion is going to keep Yasuni safe here, and the Wingstorm now is up and available to knock Virus out of stealth. Virus going in on the aggressive dagger is down. Lightning Rod is procced in, dealing a lot of damage. Gets the guard break in onto Yasuni. Going back in with a bolt strike. Yasuni with no longer having escapes. Was really nicely done there by Virus to get that big chunk of damage. But now no escapes available. He's really prone to something like a Leech Q combo here from Yasuni. But getting into the hook kick after teleporting behind his opponent, does manage to land the ground webbing as well. Thrall not going to be able to save Yasuni out this time around, and Virus claims a win over Yas.
Yeah, definitely good play by Virus. At first, he used escape very early on. It seemed like a very dangerous position, but he knew how to stall for time, how to avoid, especially avoid branding was the big thing here. Yasuni did not get a comfortable time to leech. And just kept going, especially that hard stab damage during stealth did a dangerous amount of HP portion, because once again, Warlocks actually do have one of the smallest HP pools of all the classes.
Yeah. It is on the lower end, so they can obviously get chunked rather quickly, but really good on Virus to be able to burn those escapes so efficiently against Yasuni and claim that first round win. So Yasuni, it's looking a bit scary for him here. Almost knocked out of the tournament already.
Yeah, and definitely, I'm sure this isn't like the first time they've done matches. I'm wondering what the score is myself, but we'll see where it goes after this.
Yeah, they tend to usually go head to head pretty often, but here we go. Hey, take us away.
All right, we got this time Yasuni not opting to block, but automatically uses his Bastion. Virus goes in from behind, tries to get the stealth stun in, goes for the bolt strike while he's in the Sanctum. Knockdown mine, but no poison breath following. Just wants to keep that stealth. Wingstorm just trying to tick him away while hiding into his Sanctum. Running forward. Virus knocked himself out of stealth. Unfortunately, not able to get a CC. See iframe, and then uses the Thrall. Now he's getting that free lightning damage all over him. Guard break. Yasuni does not have an escape. He still has his Void Walk. Leech Q just getting that damage. time distortion, just putting a lot of pressure. Virus has to escape here. He probably wants to find some time. No, but unfortunately, the moment his flower got placed, he got hit by another CC. A very good percent for Yasuni. Still has his escape, but no thrall, so he does have to stall a little for time, but thankfully he does have his Bastion up. Just hides into the wall, does not want to get hit from behind unexpectedly. And Virus just getting the clean days up into the knockup web, and he knows that Yasuni is going to escape right here. Gets him with a knockdown, Poison Breath, unfortunately unable to really capitalize it. But gets another stun out, Void Walk used, and Yasuni is going to have to go down.
So right there, Virus gets the 2-0 victory, putting Yasuni at 4th place, unfortunately. But right there, we see Virus actually really showing why Heartstab can be a really good build to use against the Warlock. You know, outside of Repulse and Wingstorm, they don't really have a whole lot of ways to really deal with that stealth. So he can just sit there, deal a lot of damage. And we saw Yasuni trying to block it, but then he'd constantly get guard broken, which was the really big thing. And then Virus just has another 6 free seconds to kind of do as much damage as he wants in that stealth. So really big comeback there for Virus to make sure that he can show what he's able to do against the Warlock. So he's not out quite yet. At least 3rd place for himself. But up here on the winner's side, we do still have Keaney and Zack to battle it out. All right, so is Zack about to go 2-0 over some Warlocks today?
I'm sure that would make him nothing more than happy if he did so. Probably, again, you said not his favorite matchup, but the pride you feel from beating a Warlock as a summoner, monumentous. Words. Anyways.
Yeah, that's definitely the big thing. Taking that win out over against Yasuni must have felt really good there for Zack. But this time around, he's hopefully going to be wanting to get it against Keaney as well. So we'll see if he's going to be able to pull that off here. So we did see he actually played it relatively well. You know, it was when he was playing around that time distortion, able to avoid it and save something like Party Dandelion to keep himself safe for that time distortion duration. So if he's able to do that here again, it could be really nice for him. And of course, they are still fighting for that next seeded slot, which definitely really want to get ahead if at all possible, just because going down to the loser side of the bracket does risk you getting knocked out early in the tournament.
Yeah, definitely important match right here. Gummy, what do you think? So we've seen Yasuni versus Zack. What do you think Keaney is going to do? Does he do anything different? Is he going to do the same thing, just better if he's going to try it?
I think it's going to be pretty similar playstyles for the most part. The big thing is just that they really want to make sure right here that Zack isn't going to be affecting them during the time distortion. Last time, Zack was getting a lot of stuff out during and right after the time distortions. You know, we saw in the first round, there's the aerial, and then this 3rd round, we did see the thing with the power pounce when he just took a little bit too much damage and kind of regretted his decisions a little further down the line in the match, when Zack was able to get that free Pentaslash due to the power pounce effect. So honestly, Keaney is going to have to probably play it a little safer, make sure that Sanctum is used maybe a bit more efficiently, and that Bastion doesn't end up getting broken all too quickly. So hopefully they're going to be able to swap it on its head. Zack looking pretty good against the Warlock today, and let's see if he's able to keep this momentum in his wing.
All right, seems like our 2 players have loaded in.
All right. And here we go, everybody. 3rd match of the winners bracket. We go Zack versus Keaney. Thrall is already summoned out. No major cooldowns really burnt out here yet. Pentaslash is going to get used by Zack's side, throwing Petal Storm up into the air, trying to get some Sunflower damage in on that untargetable Sanctum. Now dropping down the Briar Patch, Cat charging forward for the aggression beacon just to try to keep that cat a bit more safe. But right here we do see the time distortion going off already, and Zack manages to get the Dandelion proc that he needs and walks away from the reset. Still at a very healthy amount of HP, able to roll back, but gonna get hit here by the Leech Q combo, hitting a lot of damage right here from the Thrall. Unfortunately, Party Dandelion not gonna be able to save him, but Huzzah, hopefully gonna heal up a little bit of HP on his side, and the cat trying to push in against Keaney actually forces the tab escape out on the opponent's side. Now we're gonna have to see what he chooses to do here. The cat is up in the aerial, getting damaged up by Keaney's helixes. Now beckoning back, the cat does put up that Petal Storm, charging forward and on toward Keaney. Keaney unable to block through that Briar Patch on the floor, and the aerial from the cat's side is gonna be absolutely huge. Zack now rolling back, gets the true friend proc, trying to deal as much damage as possible. Dandelion in the air, no proc for it here this time around. Now backing up, slowly taking the approach. Huzzah is going to get procced once again, healing up himself and that cat. Now waiting for some time, charging back in on the aggression with this cat. Does manage to land the daze, but not going to be able to get the instant aerial, unfortunately, off of that. Does manage to land at the Penta Slash, once again forcing Keaney's tab, and Thrall not being available means Zack could very well pull out a win if he can land a CC here. Bastion keeping Keaney safe. Does manage to get the Thrall back up though, so Thrall swap is once again available. Knocking his opponent to the floor. Thrall swap is used. Hammer gets the connection, but Ankle Biter will not get the follow-up. Keaney dropping really low, and Zack down to 30% HP. If he can hopefully heal up a little bit more here, he might just be able to out-sustain the Warlock, but second time distortion is coming back down. Keaney going in with one imprisoned, and the next one is lined up in poise to deal some damage. Knocked up into the air. Zack trying to survive. 2% HP. The cat goes in with the save for the hammer. Gets the Dandelion proc off of the Thrall. Zack going in with the Penta Slash, but knocked out himself by the repulse, and its damage is just enough to finish off that last bit.
Holy moly.
All right, so right there for Zack. Unfortunately, he looked like he could have just barely turned it around, but we saw obviously that it just wasn't quite enough. He ended up missing out. He lost it. It got dropped, and then right there at the end with so little HP, there's just no way that you could really try to survive like that, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was a good try on Zack's part after the large leech Q damage, you know, trying to stall out his Azaz, getting his Petal Storms up, but unfortunately it's just very difficult at that point. Keaney just needs to get a decent CC off, and he will eventually get Time Distortion, Void Walk, his escapes back up. Another interesting thing to notice, I believe before Yasuni did use the anti-CC Sanctum, while Keaney's opting for the untargetable one. Wondering if that's actually affecting Zack in any way. He might change his specs for the next round, see if he can maybe CC him more often in that Sanctum.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you can really try to build around with this kind of play style, you know. Keaney is opting for the untargetable, which means he's not really going to be generally affected just because Summoners, a lot of its abilities need targeting, and otherwise the cat just really can't find a way to land cooldowns like that Ankle Biter and Strike could kind of work its way through that, but who knows how it really can go. So the root is going to be the opener for Zack. Keaney just playing back here inside of his Bastion, waiting for some time, and actually the Penta Slash does get the connection here, but the Imprison gets the immediate aerial in onto Zack, and the Thrall knocking him right back up into the air as well, but Petal Storm is down and available, and Beckon keeping Zack just fine here. Dandelion up in the air, gets the party Dandelion proc in off of the Imprison as well. Now walking around in stealth. True Friend to come out of that to avoid the next Imprison lineup, assisting back on Keaney's part, but the cat gonna be knocking him up in the air, and Keaney unable to follow up with some damage here, but the Thrall will land the stun, and the Power Pounce actually does get its proc off as well, so Keaney will get knocked down in just a few moments unless he chooses to iframe out that ability. Bastion is there, knocked to the floor here as well. Doom and Bloom taken away at his HP bar, unable to block. The leech is procced as well, and Zack going in, blasting more Sunflowers at his opponent, and now just taking a breather, trying to get some time for some more cooldowns. The cat getting the Ankle Biter into the pounce once again. Thrall swaps to save Keaney, and the Thrall goes out for the stun and knocks Zack up into the air, but he actually does manage to get off that tab escape of his own with the backstep. Now trying to charge back in. True Friend is up and available. Hammer does get the connection, and Keaney stuck up against the wall here. 16% HP, beckoning back the Thrall inside of the Sanctum.
And we see that he's just hiding that Sanctum. Gonna get much HP for Wingstorm used, Huzzah used, procs the party stealth, and he's just gonna keep firing him. He broke the guard. Sunflower trying to get through, trying to break through the Bastion as much as possible with the cat. Cat gets the stun, and instead of that, the loss of a tether right there. Zack just firing away, hides in his Petal Storm, unable to give Keaney just a chance to do any damage right now. Keaney just opting to go on the far side. True Friend and Huzzah user breaks his guard, and Time Distortion is up. Is this the turnaround for Keaney? Unfortunately, still hitting the cat, and just not going through.
Even
Gets
on this
the Imprison.
Yeah, right
Gets
here,
the Leech Q, launch into the air. Oh, no, and escape was a failed untappable right there.
Really having a hard time getting in, even on that second Time Distortion. He wasn't really able to get the follow-up, but the Penta Slash from Zack forces yet another tab escape while Thrall is down. Possible Thrall available. Thrall swap would not be up. Zack actually going to hit into a parry there. Unfortunately, though, Party Dandelion is up, trying to break through the match. And once again, True Friend is broken by the repulse. Playing back, trying to go back in for the aggro play. Thrall just knocking him up, followed by the aerial chains to maintain it as well. Now waiting for his chance. Zack playing back and just slowly healing up, and he knows Keaney is kind of running out of cooldowns here, and the timer slowly ticking down, and Prison to force out the backstep from Zack, but the Pentaslash gets the connection. Escape broken from Keaney, and it's going to be about who can get this last bit of damage and who might be able to take the win, and Zack going in for the kill for 2%, and he gets
it's overtime,
but not in time.
Ooh. Those are big numbers right there.
And Zack pulling out the victory, showing that Warlocks actually do sometimes heal a bit more than summoners can. So right there we do see Zack got the kill, he got the damage, he proved that he dominated right there in that match. So really nicely done, and a lot cleaner than that first round that we saw.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if it was Keaney's part, but a lot of CCs just weren't connecting. They either gave Zack his stealth, he was calling the timing very well, party stealthing on him, Prison, and even then occasionally just the waste of a shackle or a tether on the cat itself, which is not something that's preferred, especially on long cooldowns that Warlock have for their CC.
Yeah, right there we saw the damage chart just go off. And so, what was it? It was like 87,000 in onto the Warlock or something like that.
Yeah,
well, Keaney only did like, what, like 45?
66,
or 6? Oh, 66? Okay.
Yeah, but there's that's a large proportion.
The Warlock did manage to heal more than Zack there in that specific scenario. Obviously, summoners in general usually heal a bit more than that. But let's see who's going to be able to take it out here in this final round. Go ahead and take it away, Hank.
All right, we got the SS used, 5-point already used, Tab Escape used by the Warlock, summons his Thrall, trying to get him, but it procs another stuff. Oh, that's the Tab Escape. Petal Storm, can he get him right here? There's no escape from Zack's side. Time Distortion, he's just going to get all that damage. Impulse, launch into the air, Shackle, is not getting the damage that he needs. And Zack just gets out of it, True Friends, gets the stealth yet again. Not really sure how it's going to turn from here. Trying to break through the Bastion, but once again, Zack just caught another series, caught another aerial, and that large aerial damage is going to take it.
Right there, we see the Helixes coming in and doing their work on top of things like Thrall's stun, and Helix never gonna really let up with all of that damage, especially even when he's just on the ground. He can deal as much as he really wants. So Keaney proceeds forward in the winner's bracket, meaning he gets a minimum of at least second place, which sends Zack right down on to the loser's side of the bracket to join Virus.
Yeah, unfortunately for Zack, he lives to fight another Warlock today, so we'll see how he does with his rematch with Sunni again. Or my mistake, Virus. All right.
Yeah, there you go.
And he's already, yet again, this is another match he had to do yesterday, which he did turn out on top. Let's see what the difference will be today. What do you think about the Sin versus Summoner matchup?
So Sin versus Summoner is a bit interesting. I know some assassins find it slightly annoying just because things like Doom and Bloom are always ticking away at them, knocking them out of stealth. So it's really hard to maintain stealth. But you have a lot of dual CC to try to keep both of them in place. You know, things like the Bolt Strike, you've got Lightning Rod, even Webbing, Shadow Slash, etc. Mine can all really dual CC pretty efficiently against the Summoner. So it really depends on who's going to be getting those initial catches. Of course, Summoner only having one escape compared to the Assassins too is going to be a bit more difficult. But Beckon could maybe bring in some sort of fancy play as well. And yesterday, Zack did get a victory over Virus during Rumble in the Realm in the Legion tournament.
Yeah, it definitely was an upset at the time. Let's see if he can do it again. My big question, because it's always the fun one, is Virus going to opt for his big bombard damage, or will he go for the heart stabs? I think he might go for heart stabs again. Just how effective it's been, how safe it's been, especially at this point. They are already in the losers bracket. There's no second chance from here.
Yeah, that is the really big thing. But who knows? The Bombard could still be pretty good. It's nice, big burst against the squishy class like the Summoner. And honestly, dealing damage to the cat isn't always the worst of ideas either.
Yeah, put pressure on the cat, and that would force Zack to crouch it, and of course, you have a summoner just by himself.
Yes. There's a lot to really try and keep track of here, I would say. So it really kind of depends on who's going to be able to get these catches. We'll see how it's all going to go down. But once again, this is the loser side of the bracket. So loser here will have to take that less than optimally shiny bronze trophy.
And still a trophy to win, as after all, we still seeing this is going to be a high level match. One of the best Sins, one of the best summoners. It's still, I don't know. I'm wondering how favorable it will be today, because every day it just seems a bit different. Zack does tend to really catch stealth very easily. I've seen him land those thorn strikes immediately out of stealth. Big thing. Perhaps he has often chosen to swap to the knockdown thorn strike. I don't particularly know why. Do you know?
It can sometimes work out. I believe it has penetration as well, so that's kind of a new reason to use it. But of course, KD isn't quite as efficient as a stun as Daze is sometimes, so you can kind of pick how you want it to be, but it's kind of a nice way to sometimes knock the Sin out of stealth. So you can't kind of just pick what he wants to go with. Either option is honestly all right for the most part, though, I would say. But it looks like we're finally going to load into the match. Let's get it underway, Hank.
All right, we're off. It's Zack versus Virus. Already going to go to SS. Gets the early stealth. Knocked down by that thorn strike. Party decoy used, and he's opting for the bombard damage. Zack forcing to use his escape early on to avoid that damage. Virus just getting it in with the CCs. Oh, unfortunately, broke his combo. Stealth has been used by both sides now. Now we have a Petal Storm and a Smoke Screen. True Friend has just expired. Virus trying to just get his stealth. Uses the cat to do so and just throwing the bombards while CCing. He's out of his stealth options. Only has his flower. Uses a Q on the beacon. That is all of Zack's escape. This is a very bad situation for him. But then his cat catches onto Virus with the 5-point, wasting the flower. Tap switch did not go as it went to Petal Storm. Knocked down again by the Thorn Strike. Cat Hammer missed. Tap escape used.
And Zack already having to burn his escape, and Virus still having one available here, but he does have True Friend to keep him safe for the next 5 seconds. Fortunately, that cat gonna be proccing the party decoy for him that time around. Dandelion not gonna get the connection that he wants from the Bolt Strike coming on down, but the Becking does get the connection into the hammer up into the aerial, and Zack might be able to turn this around here if he can get some good follow-ups on this damage. Keep himself safe, that's what he needs to do. Party Dandelion is up in the air. C-Stun coming in onto Zack. The Shadow Slash into the Poison Breath into Bombard. The bombs are dropping as Virus drops Zack's HP down to 0 here for the first round victory.
Virus seeming very confident, opting for not only the bombard damage, but the C-Stun too. Just plays really aggressive through his escapes early on, and he just knows he can get this summoner.
Yeah. He's really catching Zack out quite a bit. The big thing was right there at the end. We saw Zack tried to go for the party Dandelion, but Virus, being as patient as always, waiting for the right opportunity to go aggressive, avoids out that extra stealth time, and manages to get the kill out over his opponent. And the AoE damage, once again, is just so massive with things like Poison Breath and Bombard.
And also very unfortunate, the cat AI does give lots of opportunity for the Sin to get to stealth, once again using any of their QE iframes, or just even allowing them to just go behind and just get into stealth using tab.
We see even like Decoy getting procced, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
We see though, Zack's very good at landing those Thorn Strikes, just knocking the Sin out of stealth with those Thorn Strikes. Very accurate. I would say, but of course it's very hard to follow up because after all it's a knockdown, not a stun or a daze.
Yeah, of course. All right, looks like we're finally going on into the game. We'll see if Zack can keep the dream alive for himself. Both contestants running out. Doom and Bloom will be the opener, but the party decoy is going to get proc. Pentaslash going in onto Virus, and Tap Escape is burned, but the Beacon catches him out into the Thorn Strike, into the Hammer, into the Cat Pounce, and Flower already used. Both escapes burned out here by Virus, but Zack stuck down in the webbing. LMB stunned with the X Dagger down on his backside, knocked up into the air, and Zack down to 60%, and the Bombard into Lightning Strike cleans it out, and Zack doesn't even get to use his Tab Escape in the end there.
Oh my. Yeah, that was a very intense combo. Poor Zack, not even opting to escape, had his chance only at the web. Afterwards, not really given an opportunity. The
Mm-hmm.
combined damage of the poison stacking of the bombard with that lightning strike, not a chance. He
Yeah,
did
it
pretty
was.
good with the beacon, but
Yeah.
unfortunate.
That was really unfortunate there at the end. So we saw Zack got the escapes out of Virus. He had his still up, but Virus, 200 IQ brain over here, goes for the aerial. And actually, if you guys didn't know, Bombard has a slight delay to when it deals damage, right? So what he does is he throws the Bombard early and goes for the Lightning Strike. And as the opponent lands on the ground, the Bombard damage connects as well as the Lightning Strike at the same time, which allows him to get that huge final bit of burst out of the aerial. And of course, Zack isn't going to be able to tab escape out of an aerial.
Yeah, once again, very aggressive play as we see Virus's versatility. A lot more aggressive against a summoner than a warlock. Can't blame him for that. But also very confident about this matchup too, to opt for that large combo, knowing how much damage he can do, how much poison he can stack, how much just free damage he can get off.
Yeah, definitely really big out to there, but shout out over to Zack, though. He does claim that bronze trophy right on down over there. So if we can go ahead and bring up our lovely prizes once again. So earlier today we had Sunni claiming the 4th place prize of $50 Hong Moon coin along with their choice of costume. 3rd place now goes to Zack for 100 USD, choice of costume in the Corsair Void Pro RGB USB headset. 2nd place and 1st is what's being contested between Keaney, my mistake. They're both warlocks. It's like the same thing, right? Between Keaney and Virus here. 2nd place will be getting $200 USD with choice of outfit and the Corsair Scimitar Pro RGB gaming mouse to put on their nice extended mouse pad. And for 1st place, 300 USD with choice of outfit in the Corsair K70 RGB mechanical gaming keyboard. Thank you over to Corsair for said lovely prizes. And right here, you can see the choice of outfit is School Days, Teacher's Pet, and Colorful Silks. And there's giveaways for these costumes in the chat, so make sure to keep looking in there actively if you want a chance at one of those lovely items for free.
Yep, definitely great outfits. If you're wondering for 2 of those outfits how the male one looks, just switch it. Just same thing. And we get the last warlock match of the day. I'm sure people might just be like, oh, tired of this. It could be worse. It could be warlock versus warlock. We'll have Venn diagrams all over the floor.
All right. Well, we have to keep in mind too that Virus did get beaten by Keaney earlier today, so it's really anybody's game as to how this plays out here. So the really big thing to kind of be talking about too is that we are in grand finals now. So what this means is we're going to be having a somewhat different format. So before we were obviously doing best 2 out of 3 rounds, but now we're going to be doing best 2 out of 3 matches. So what we were seeing previously was a singular match. So if 2 rounds are 1 in a row, it means you have claimed 1 match, obviously, in a best of 3, but it's best 2 out of 3 for a match set. So we'll be keeping track all of that for you guys over at home. So since Virus did lose out at the beginning of the tournament today, what do you think he really needs to do if he wants to switch this around?
Heart stab. That's step 1.
Oh, yeah. All right. So we'll see if he brings that back here this time around. It did work up against you, Sunni. Let's see if he can perfect it this time around. Virus with his usual tournament tryhard apparel of Indomitable Will and Cobalt Widow wig. Going back, he actually hits into the parry, unfortunately going up into the air, beckoning back that Thrall. The Imprisoned is down on the field, and Leech gets the connection. Thrall goes for the stun, but the tap escape is available due to no untouchable being proc there for Keaney. Is going to land out that tether blade. It actually hits right into the decoy afterwards, unfortunately for him. X-Dagger does get the connection here for Virus, but with the CI frame Shadow Slash to get that stealth back in. Gets the aerial back in onto Virus. Virus taking so much damage, down to 10% HP, but he's not going to be going out without a fight. Trying to go for the Bolt Strike, trying to get the connection, gets the Poison Breath for some slight healing. Not going to get the party decoy. Proc does manage to get the evade, though. Stealth back in with the Q here. Lotus of Escape not yet available. Tab Escape is still down, and Keaney finishes him off with that Wing Storm damage.
Quite a stylish finish. Didn't even have to look at his opponent right there. All right, so when I said do hard stab, don't hit into deflect. That's not what I meant. at
Yeah,
all.
hitting into deflect is a bit rough. You know, free stuns for the Warlock you definitely don't want because they're gonna definitely be abusing out those aerials. He needs to be getting those guard breaks off like he was against Sunni accordingly.
Yeah, probably definitely more patient style.
Hmm.
Perhaps Yasuni was more aggressive. That's why he allowed it. But Aikidi just careful in the opener. Definitely wants to make Virus do the first move so he can play upon it.
Hmm.
Uh, the time distortion also too was also just unavoidably bad situation where Virus did not have escape. What else could he
Hmm.
do?
Yeah, so it was really rough for him there. Of course, having to burn that so early and then getting knocked out of stealth is so detrimental when you're having to deal with something like time distortion. You know, losing all of your escapes early on is, of course, no bueno. But what are you going to do sometimes when you get hit by those untappable combos? It can be a bit rough there for him. So maybe Virus is going to be able to turn it around this time here. Let's see what he can do here, Hank.
All right, Aikini versus Virus, round 2. Let's see what's gonna happen right here. I'm just gonna go to the edge of the map. Virus using his decoy, Aikini using his bastion, hits him into the smoke though, trying to get launched, get that free damage right there. Doesn't really capitalize on it. Drop down the Sanctum, Poison Breath on failed landmine. Unfortunately, won't get any damage off. Aikini got his thrall up. Virus hiding in with his stealth, trying to figure out what can he do without his non AoE CC. Goes in, gets the Q, gets back to stealth. Time distortion, like he's gonna try to get his tab escape used by Virus from the prison, using the CI frame to stall out time. Flower is down, uses the thrall to get back into stealth. Wingstorm just knocked him, and the deflect once again, and launching Virus into the air, followed by the imprison. And oh,
All right. So that means Keaney's going to take the first match win. So he's one more set off from taking the victory and first place title for that gold trophy and Rumble in the Realm here in N8. Unfortunately for Virus, he keeps finding his way to hit into that deflect, man. That's just got to stop. You can't keep hitting that. You know, we saw there as Flower didn't really get to save him because he gets knocked up so quickly by the thrall from that deflect. So it's really difficult to kind of be dealing with. He really wants to find a way to get himself out of that situation. If he keeps hitting into the deflect, it's going to be really difficult to make a comeback.
Yeah, definitely a very, very punishable mechanic in this game, that deflect, especially for a Warlock. At the same time, props to Aikini for timing when to deflect a sin.
Mhm.
You know, can't just say it's one side like luck. Aikini definitely feels the moment that the sin will go in, and has to be when Spinal Tap is off cooldown too, because Spinal Tap will go through the guard. His only option would be Heart Stab, and right as that happens, he will get the deflect.
Yeah, he's always considering the moment for when, you know, Virus is going to try to go in with the Shadow Step and then try to block behind himself in order to get that precise timing on the counter as well. Here we go, guys. Next round. Let's see who's going to be able to take out this next win. Aikini looking to really pull far into the lead if he can get one more round win, but Virus going to avoid the Tether Blade after that repulse, knocking him from stealth, but Lotus of Escape is off to the side to keep him alive. He does manage to get the re-stealth here, and Time Bomb is ticking away to slowly get that Daze in onto Aikini. Doesn't manage to land the Daze Thrall, going back in, the Daze Bomb knocking to the floor. Here, at least not going to quite do his work, but he does manage to get the area off of the Imprison. Both escapes still available here for Virus. Does choose to burn his tab down to 30% HP, trying to get back in, and the repulse is popped by Aikini. Party decoy thrown right into that Imprison. Nicely done there for Virus, coming down with the Bolt Strike, but the Thrall gets the connection off of the stun. Tether Blade will get the follow-up. X-Dagger comes down, up into the air. Aikini goes, webbing on the floor, mine on the field. X-Stealth is what he's opting to use here. Actually, I think that is the one infiltrate instead, but Bombard going for a lot of damage. LMB stun into the hook kick as well, doing lots of damage with the Bombard, and he drops Aikini to his knees as he claims back a victory to try to claw his way back to this first place win.
I think Virus just got a little too frustrated at the deflects. And all right, you can't deflect bombs, so.
Oh yeah.
But definitely great play. Virus figuring out that he doesn't necessarily need to combo if he can CC. He just has to wait till the escapes go up. Sins can get a very easy combo, 100-0 with Bombard. Just needs to catch.
You can definitely 100-0 with Bombard. It's just that now that he's not trying to do some more PvE damage, you know, while his opponent isn't CC'd, He's going to instead try to go for just getting a defense pen CC and then stacking CCs on top of it while dealing bombard in between each of those, of course. Yeah. And as we saw right there, it was really well executed.
Yeah, unfortunate for Keaney as he escaped from the web. I suppose he was relying a little too much on his untargetable. Didn't really have Bastion or Sanctum to follow up on that. And Virus just getting that free spinal tap and just finishing off with the long bombard combo.
And really big right there for him. So we'll see if Virus is going to be able to make his way back in order to keep this dream alive up first. Both contestants now once again off into their running starts. Virus charging forward, trying to play a little bit more of a spacious game. You can see that the Bastion was bought by Keaney, and Iron Beast will be his answer. The strafe to keep him safe out of that repulse, knocking him from stealth. Nessus will save him from the Tether Blade as well, and he actually gets some Bombard and Poison Breath damage. Right now we see the Time Distortion getting popped. There is a Tether Blade getting thrown out, but I'm sure that was a reset for Keaney. Party Decoy avoids out the Thrall Key and Lotus of Escape. Now able to keep Virus safe here, and Virus can just honestly wait out this Thrall. Use one Infiltrate, and hits into another deflect. The dagger. It's really unfortunate there for him, but it's not going to be all too effective since he did manage to maintain stealth during that deflect time. Does manage to go knock his opponent up into the air, dropping him down into the webbing, Infiltrate, and Keaney chooses to immediately pop that Tab Escape and hits another deflect with the Lightning Rod, going in right up into the air from those chains of Prism. Will get the connection as well. Leech will miss here for Keaney, unfortunately. Infiltrate going to be keeping Virus safe, though. Does get the leg sweep, going to be using that Lotus to avoid out the Thrall stun. Mine knocks Keaney to the floor. CI frame is used. Virus trying to get in with as much damage as possible. Keaney throws Tether Blade into the decoy, gets the cutthroat, trying to deal as much damage as possible. SS to avoid the repulse, goes back in with the stealth, and the bombard doesn't need any targeting, throws it all throughout the sanctum, and Keaney blown up on the field right here, bringing it to a 1-1 in matches, and we are down to our final set here in the Rumble in the Realm for NA.
Feel like Virus is secretly listening to our opinions. First we say don't hit into deflect, switch to bombs. Then we say if he does, he's pretty bad. Hits into deflect twice, doesn't matter, he'll just keep going.
He's just changing it up all he wants, so he's really trying to keep it how as steady and maintained as possible. Right, we saw right there, he knew it was out. He didn't have more CCs. The Sanctum came down, but he's like, he's 10% HP. I'm just gonna throw these defense pen bombs all over him. And of course, it just managed to finish off his opponent. And fortunately, Keaney struggled right there at the end. I think that Tether Blade into the decoy is really what just tilted all the way into Virus's favor.
Yeah, definitely. You can't. You losing not only Tether Blade, but also hitting to a decoy, giving the Sin the ability to just combo you. He's in a corner right now. It seems that he's having difficulty with Virus being this aggressive, having this much burst damage. Quite the opposite of, I suppose, Yasuni in the earlier matches, whereas this was actually Yasune's favor.
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious to see how it keeps playing out, but we are once again in our final match, so everything is do or die. It's time to make it or break it. So let's see what they're going to be doing. I'm a bit curious to see if they do try to switch up anything within their builds. Maybe we'll see a surprise Ice Mine, maybe we'll see a different Sanctum. See what is going to happen. But here we go, guys. Give your energy, give your pug chips to who you want to take first place here in the Rumble in the Realm. Right here, we see the initial opener out from Keaney with the Bastion connecting with the Tether Blade as well. Lotus of Escape will be popped here by Virus. Shadow Slash to the webbing. Will unfortunately miss through the rollback from Keaney. Party Decoy not going to get procced here for Virus, but Lightning striding away, trying to get stealth in onto the Thrall, but Time Distortion coming on down. For this side, Decoy is up. Virus once again getting the Infiltrate stealth onto the Thrall and just backing out, trying to play it as safe as possible. Thrall swap, it's going to get burned. X-Dagger is down in Keaney's back, but getting these aerial chains is going to be dishing out a lot of extra damage in onto Virus here. Let's get the one recovery, but the body swap will manage to get the follow-up, knocking him up into the air. Time Bomb slowly ticking away. Webbing into the mine, drops down with the Bolt Strike. Rolls on back here from that Daze. Does manage to connect the stun, but Virus going to be using his rollback. No Tab Escape available for Keaney, but Bastion will surely be keeping him safe here. Alright, does get the kick back up into the air, and Keaney not able to resummon their Thrall either. Virus going with the Lightning Rod, Poison Breath, Bombard combo, and dealing huge chunks of damage in order to finish off Keaney here, and he is one victory away from claiming his first place prize.
Virus definitely finding the rhythm he needs to really take down Keaney. Keaney, unfortunately, seems a very a little panic, little bit into the corner right there. During his own time distortion, Virus just uses a C iframe, and unfortunately, Keaney's just blowing a few skills, like trying to just get a single hit. The stealth is really punishing him right now.
Yeah, it's really nice to see Virus playing around that time distortion as efficiently as possible, just because that is such a critical cooldown for the Warlock. Minute and a half can only ever go off twice in a game, and of course, you don't ever want to wait until the second one comes up, because that could very well just mean the game for yourself, because of how low you will get by that point. But, you know, making sure he's playing 2 and out. I really like that he forces out the Thrall swap and the Tab Escape immediately. And then when the Thrall is gone, he knows it's his time to shine. It's the time to go in so aggressive and make sure that Thrall cannot come back up for Keaney.
Yes, especially these openers are also ridiculous. Virus opting to always change it up. Sometimes he throws the flower immediately. Sometimes he smokes really. Keaney, unfortunately, his go-to seems to always just throw his Bastion up.
Yeah, most definitely, but this could very well be our last match here for today, guys. So give your energy to who you need to win this game. I hope you all are ready to rumble, because we're going to get right into the heat of the action. So Virus proceeding on forward. Now going back with the SS, trying to get the LMB stun, but the iframe from Repulse will keep Keaney safe. Tether Blade off of that Bolt Strike from Virus will keep him in check, and he's going to have to be forced to use his Tab Escape, but Decoy does get the connection here for Virus, thankfully. Sanctum keeping Keaney safe, playing back, waiting for some time. Cheese with the Virus, a little bit of healing, some of that projectile protection. Aerial chains will get the follow up here for Keaney as well, but Virus just going to be waiting out and buying himself as much time as possible. Lotus of Escape all the way to the other side of the map, waiting, buying time, gets the re-stealth, gets the C iframe, waiting out patiently. Tab Escape coming up really soon. Zooming to the other side of the map, and Keaney unable to follow up due to the Warlock's low mobility. Now having to block patiently. Virus knows it's his time to go. It's his time to play. Tab Escape is burned. Gets the stun. Knocks Keaney into the air. Now waiting. Drops the mine. Webbing on the floor. Virus waiting for his chance. Gets the lightning run. Throws the bombard. Unfortunately, not going to be able to follow that up. Thrall is once again available. Gets the leech Q. Keaney returning here with a lot of damage. And Virus dropping real low down to 2% HP. 4%. Gets the decoy. Virus still alive. Gets the straight buff. Bastion up, protecting Keaney. Sanctum down on the field here for another 10 seconds, and Virus trying to play back. 10% Lotus of Escape available. Might not going to be able to get the follow-up, but Virus keeping the Dream alive. He's not out just yet. Playing back, trying to charge in. Tether Blade gets the connection. Lotus of Escape will keep him safe. Party Decoy saves from the Thrall stun. Playing back, gets the stun, gets the Bolt Strike, gets the Bombard, going in with the Cutthroat as well. Connects the Lightning Run, knocking his opponent up into the air. Going to be dropping him down once again into yet another webbing. Tab Escape immediately burned by Keaney. Right there, we see the Tab Escape coming up from Virus. Tabs burned for both sides. Thrall swap is available for Keaney. But close to the Bombard. It is dangerous. See iframe keeping Virus alive, trying to make the comeback. Pushing forward, knocks Keaney to the floor. Bomb, not going to connect with the second time distortion going on. Virus rolling back, trying to get the decoy, but he's hit up into the air, and the second time distortion secures the win here for Keaney.
Oh, she literally just mentioned how the second time distortion is not a favorable position for anyone on the opponent's side. Keaney just getting it off. Fortunately for Virus, that was just enough. Keaney really turned it around during the his last escape. Well, not last, but in the center when he was about to lose the escape. Unfortunately, Virus did not iframe the brand, gave opportunity for the leech Q, and then just from there just played aggressive, forced Virus into a corner.
Yeah, it looked like Virus could potentially have the comeback, but the Thrall getting resummoned means time distortion is going to be coming back up momentarily, which is all but too late because he already burned all of his escapes, so there's no way out of that one, unfortunately. But you know what this means? We've gone all the way to the final round. Winner here takes it all. Nice gold trophy, and of course, all of the wonderful bragging rights that you could ever want.
I would not want to be in their shoes. The pressure should be enormous right now.
Oh, most definitely. All right, and so let's see here. Looks like the contestants are getting loaded up and ready once again. Go ahead and take off the start here for us, Hank.
All right, we got Virus going straight. Immediately gets stunned and a tab switch. Virus using his escape. Keaney just safely walking and gets his thralls up. Virus gets the X dagger, pops back in, gets his stealth off the party decoy, runs away, using his C iframe. Gets the stealth back again. Time distortion on top of the Bastion. Poison Breath getting a small chunk of damage. Keaney able to heal up with his Bastion on the Sanctum. Aerial right there. Failed the tech chase. Virus running all the way back to his flower. 50-meter range. 50-meter range, by the way.
Yeah, that range is rather large. It'll keep him safe for quite some time. But for all the time on, of course, to get his own stab escape back. Not connecting with the Bolt Strike, and gonna have to be burning that once again due to the Tether Blade falling up here from Keaney. And Thrall's definitely gonna be able to get re-summoned here if Keaney plays all of his cards right. Playing back, waiting for his opportunity. Repulse knocks Virus away. Lotus of Escape not yet available. Gets knocked up here by the chains, but Thrall gonna hit into that ground, kind of giving Virus yet another chance at stuff. Playing back, but Virus knows he needs to force something here. Otherwise, the next Thrall summoning could very well just mean the game off of the time distortion. So here he goes. Thrall swap is burnt out from Keaney, having to use the Lotus of Escape. Tab Escape is coming back up in just a moment. If you can get Keaney's Tab Escape here and Thrall disappears, it could be absolutely massive here for him. Now playing back, Tether Blade misses on the side of Keaney. Re-stealth, running in, repulse, not going to get the connection. Virus does not quite land the LMB stun. RMB is not going to get the guard break. He needs either to do that bastion, protecting Keaney. Lands the mine though, trying to connect the poison breath, gets the body swap as well, but no LMB stun available. Thrall is back up. That means time distortion is coming back in soon, but the aerial webbing. Virus trying to finish off the Thrall, and he's actually not using the bar here. We do see that he's going in for the stun as well. Time distortion popping off. He's trying to finish the Thrall, going back with the CI frame. Thrall is so low, but all of the resets have been given. The leash comes out. Keaney launches the aerial, and that is the victory here, getting the 2-1 victory. Keaney claims the first place win over Virus here in Rumble in the Realm NA 1 versus 1.
Very, very unfortunate for Virus. He was a little desperate at the end. Had to try to get rid of that Thrall as soon as possible. He knew the time distortion. He knew the leech Q was coming. He just had to do it. Unfortunately, not enough damage. Maybe that 25% critical did not help him there.
Yeah, right there we saw that it was so nice for him to try to finish off the Thrall. He went for the aerial webbing because he knew what his out had to be, because the Thrall got reassigned and he dropped it so low, but of course time distortion just barely got off. So congratulations over to Keaney. If we can bring up that bracket here for us all, he claims that first place prize and a nice shiny gold trophy. But of course, hats off over to Virus and the rest of the contestants. Virus getting that silver trophy at second place, Zack at third, and earlier even than that is Sunni in fourth. So congratulations out to all of our participants for making it as far as they did. But that means we have come to the closing end of the 1v1 North American Rumble in the Realm. But it doesn't mean our Rumble action has to end just yet. On December 2nd and 3rd, we still have Europe and NA 3 versus 3 Rumble in the Realm. So make sure to look forward to that. And on the 4th, the finals will be on the Blade and Soul stream once again. Quick thank yous over to the players, Legion Esports for helping us out with the qualifying series, and of course the broadcast team and you, the viewers at home, for supporting the scene here. And of course, I'd like to remind you all about the Blade and Soul Dawn of the Lost Continent patch preview part 2 on November 30th at 10 a.m. PST. Don't forget to sign up for your Explorers pack, as you can receive awesome and free goodies. You get a nice little winter cap to keep your head in warm, but of course you get that awesome 50 voucher to boost up a new character that you could maybe want as an alt. So good stuff to be looking forward to. And another quick reminder too, to follow Blade and Soul over on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook. The YouTube video of North America Rumble in the Realm will be on the BNS YouTube channel as well. So send friends over there if you want them to catch up on all of the action. But today, guys, thank you for letting me host today's tournament. And thank you over to Hank for giving quite the helping hand. I hope you all enjoyed, had a good time, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.